No, we have a big story on the banks. We'll be watching that. This is a story I broke last night, and it is now official. The big banks are suing the Federal Reserve over stress tests. Now, very unusual for the banks to sue their own regulator, but we just got the filing, filed in the Sixth Circuit, and it is coming on behalf of the Bank Policy Institute, which does represent all the big banks. Think J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, along with the American Bankers Association, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the Ohio Bankers League, and the Ohio Chamber of Commerce. They're filing litigation against the Fed, and they're really challenging the legal aspects of the stress test. They call it the opaque aspects of stress testing framework. They say, well, it's an important risk management tool for banks and supervisors that helps ensure banks have sufficient capital. The lawsuit seeks to resolve long-standing legal violations by subjecting the stress test process to public input as required by federal law. So here's the backstory. The banks have been upset with the stress test process. This has been going on for 15 years, right? Stress tests came as a result of the financial crisis to try to reassure the public that the system is safe. The problem is it has been shrouded in secrecy as far as the methodology, and it never received public comment in order to go into law, which apparently is something that the banks are challenging the legality here. Why now? As I understand it, according to a person familiar with the matter, the statute of limitations is up a few days after January for the banks to be able to challenge this, which is why, interestingly, the Federal Reserve yesterday, right after the market closed, came out and announced that it is making some changes to boost the transparency of the tests, that it is going to seek public input. So, and the Fed even itself said it was doing this in light of some of the legal changes around the framework of administrative law. So clearly the Fed was getting the message that banks had a good legal case here. However, I'm told for the banks, it was too little, too late. And also a key clause that came out of the Fed statement yesterday is that capital rules are not intended to change. And the other problem the banks have had with this whole stress test, not just that it's been an opaque and secretive process that didn't have public comment, but also the high capital and volatile, what they call volatile rules around how much capital they have to hold. They've complained that it hurts lending and it hurts growth in the overall economy. This has been a constant refrain, and they do it from the American Bankers Association, from the Bank Policy Institute, and now they are doing something about it and taking legal action.